Hey babes, Erica Bell here, and this is Zodiac and Chill, the Astro Tea Party where love is drama, your ex is a meme, and the only thing more confusing than your dating life is Mercury in retrograde. Today, buckle all the way up because we are diving headfirst into the Zodiac's wild child, Sagittarius. These are the people who flirt with the bartender, the flight attendant, and your best friend, then book their own hotel just in case. They'll kiss you under the stars, tell you they want to live on a boat in Bali, and disappear the second you say, "So, what are we?" Sagittarius, the mutable fire sign, the escape artist of the zodiac. All airplane mode and half-charged phones. Passion first, commitment, maybe. If the vibes are right. I used to think Aries was the definition of chaos, until I went on a road trip with a Sag and somehow ended up hiking with goats in the Swiss Alps. True story. But that's for another episode. Here's what I'll tell you. Sag in love, never boring, never predictable, almost never on time. Last week, we dragged Virgo for turning dating into an FBI case file. This week, we're tearing up the map and seeing where we land. So why do Sagittarians bring you passion one minute and ghost you from a mountaintop the next? We're unpacking the magic, the mess, and the madness, so you never have to send another "Are you mad at me?" or "Backpacking in Peru" text again. Okay, story time. Let's talk about my friend Lisa. Absolute gem. Crystals charged, iPhone charged, journal full. You know the type. Vibrating on high frequencies, but grounded enough to call you out on your shit. She meets this Sag guy at a rooftop party. He's got the travel tattoos, the mysterious backpack, and those "let's go to Istanbul" jokes that sound half kidding but somehow serious. The Sag charm, off the charts. They closed down the bar. Fries shared, eye contact so intense, even the bartender was like, "Y'all okay?" It's giving that signature Sag flirtation. Let's conquer the world with the side of, "I might disappear tomorrow, but right now, you're everything." Date 1, fire. Date 2, art museums, deep convos, zero red flags. By day 3, Lisa's catching feelings, heart open, energy aligned. So she asks, "So, where do you see this going?" And just like that, the Sag flicker hits. You can see the charm shift, the enthusiasm stall, the internal monologue screaming, "Abort mission." He smiles and says the classic line, "Let's just enjoy the moment." The next morning, gone, blocked, phone, Instagram, Spotify, girl, even their shared meme thread vanished. Sometimes Sagittarians genuinely believe they're being free, following their truth. But sometimes it's just ghosting in a philosophical trench coat. Here's the real Sag dilemma. Their soul craves connection, but their spirit fears being tied down. They want to be seen until staying seen feels too permanent. True intimacy requires presence, follow through, and when it shifts from fun to vulnerable, that Sag urge to vanish kicks in like clockwork. And this isn't just Lisa's story, it's a trend. Studies show Sagittarians often pull away when exclusivity gets real. You'll hear, "I need space. I don't do labels. You're amazing, but I don't want to hold you back." Translation, I've already packed my exit strategy. And look, I'm not dragging freedom. Independence is beautiful. It's necessary. But here's the question. When is independence healthy? And when is it just emotional unavailability dressed up as self-care? Let that marinate, because next, we're getting into how to actually love a Sag without losing your damn self. So what if you're in deep with the Sagittarius? Or maybe you're still trying to untangle whether that wild weekend was love, lust, or just a really confusing pit stop with amazing lighting and zero emotional follow-up. Let me help you out. First rule, keep your own life lit. Seriously, Sagittarius will respect you so much more when your fire is already burning strong. They're not here to be your center of gravity. Don't orbit around them like some lovesick moon, or you'll end up dizzy, drained, and wondering why they're already halfway to the next adventure. Think. Be your own damn planet. Have your own goals, your own schedule, your own vibe. A Sag will only make space for someone who's also living out loud, not waiting for them to come back down. Second rule, honesty. Radical, unfiltered, but compassionate honesty. Sages don't do well with passive aggression, emotional riddles, or that guess what I'm feeling game. They're way too impatient for that. What they do love? You calling it like it is, but without making it a guilt trip. Say, I miss you and want to make plans. Not, so I guess you're too busy for me again. Big difference. And when you need to bring them in, skip the pressure, bring the play. Instead of, why haven't you texted me back? Try, hey you, want to do a last minute road trip to nowhere this weekend? That's Sag bait. Fun, low pressure, impulsive with a sprinkle of romance. You're not chasing them. You're inviting them into the adventure. And that's the only kind of intimacy they trust. Now, let's talk about Sagittarius repellent. You ready? Ultimatums. The second you hit them with, choose me or lose me, they're already mentally boarding a flight to anywhere else. You're not cornering them. You're handing them a map to escape. They'll say something like, I just need space to think. But baby, they're not thinking. They're running. Clinginess, emotional pressure, they hate it. Sages don't want to be your emotional support animal. They want partnership, not parental energy. When they feel boxed in, they shut down. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to breathe inside those walls. And please, for the love of Jupiter, stop trying to fix them. They are not a broken toy or a dusty project from your healing phase. Sagittarians are built for movement, constant motion, multiple passions, 5 tabs open in their brain, and 6 things half finished on their coffee table. You can't stuff that fire into your perfectly decorated fireplace. It's too wild for that. It needs open space and oxygen. And that's not a flaw. It's just who they are. If you want someone who's predictable, cozy, and never questions anything, Sag isn't your match. But if you can handle a love that's fast, fearless, and fiercely independent, and still find ways to anchor it in trust, then honey, you've got a shot at something rare. Now, this is the part where I usually pull out the astrology tea leaves and do a little decoding. Because Sagittarius might speak English, but when it comes to relationships, it's basically a dialect of, how do I say I'm out without sounding like the villain? So let's spice it up with a little feature I like to call the Sag Excuse Decoder. Let's break it down. If you ever get a text that says, sorry, I've just been super busy finding myself. Translation, I don't want to commit, but I'm too nice to say it directly, so I'm spiritualizing my exit. They're not in a forest meditating, babe. They're just not into it anymore. And they don't know how to tell you without hurting your feelings. Classic Sag. Sincere, scattered, and scared of the D word. Dependability. Now let's talk about listener Leela. She sent in the screenshot last week. Her Sag crush, after 3 magical weeks of texting, dates, and 1 full playlist exchange, hits her with, "Let's just flow and let the universe decide." Suspicious? Absolutely. Here's the translation. "I'm vibing right now, but if you start talking about commitment, I'm ducking out behind a crystal and calling it growth." Listen, the universe does not pay your bills. The universe will not show up to your cousin's wedding. And the universe will absolutely forget your birthday. That line? Sag escaping accountability. Scene 3. And here's the key. They mean well. They really do. But Sagittarius is a master of soft exits wrapped in poetic language. You'll think you're on a soul journey together, but they're already back on Tinder looking for someone who gets their need for expansion. So don't fall for the flow line. If a Sag wants you, they will make space for you. No universe required. Here's the cosmic catch. Yes, you got to respect the Sagittarius' need for freedom, but boundaries are not optional. You want a shot at something real? You got to have the uncomfortable conversations early. I always tell people, just ask, what does commitment look like for you? What does freedom feel like for you? Because if you don't, that just go with the flow energy turns into, "I thought we weren't that serious," real fast. And knowing likes getting emotionally blindsided because Sag needed to go off grid and forgot to mention it. So, if your Sag wants to take a solo road trip through Arizona, cool. But let that also come with a good morning text and a real conversation about what the connection is. You want it to work? Get creative together. Don't force structure. Build excitement. Plan things that feel spontaneous together. Make it a we thing, not an either or trap. Because Sagittarius love is not forever and ever, amen. It's not dinner every Thursday in the same booth with the same order. It's a damn travel docuseries. Commitment, but make it an epic, an exploration, a story you want to co-create. And yeah, people always ask me, do Sagittarians ever settle down? The answer is yes, on their own terms. Think, road trips with rings, joint savings accounts, but to fund a hot air balloon ride, not a shared Amazon account. Love that feels wild and wide open, but rooted in trust. Because a Sagittarius doesn't want a babysitter, they want a co-pilot. And the question I get all the time, why do they flirt with everyone? Here's the truth. It's not personal. It's Jupiter. Sag energy is expansive, bold, curious. Flirting is how they explore. It's how they learn about people, about chemistry, about life. Sometimes it's not even romantic. It's just their way of staying engaged with the world. So don't read too deep into every wink. The real sign it's serious? When they stick around. When they skip the solo backpacking trip and start making joint plans. When "what are you doing this weekend" turns into "where do you see yourself in 5 years?" That's a green light. That's Sag showing they're not just vibing, they're investing. Are they faithful? If they're emotionally stimulated, yes, 100%. But if they're bored, boxed in, or things get too easy, you're probably texting a ghost. One that still watches your stories, but refuses to commit to a dinner plan. Here's the hard truth. You can't rush a Sagittarius. You can't corner them into love. Match their pace or move on. Because the only way to get a Sagittarius to stop running is to never chase them in the first place. And when you see them building something, new hobbies, 5 side hustles, a random international road race, a podcast about kite surfing, that's how you know it's real. You're not just a phase. You're a partner in the chaos. Let's zoom out for a second. Sagittarius gets labeled the messiest sign in the zodiac. They won't commit. They don't text back. They've always got a bag packed by the door. But here's the truth, babes. That's the myth. Sagittarius can commit, just not to captivity. They want to choose you, not feel pressured into picking you. When a Sag really picks you, you don't just get passion, you get fireworks and follow through. They'll write poems on planes, book trips for 2, and check in from the middle of nowhere just to say they miss your voice. But the mess? Oh, it's real. Unfiltered opinions, plans with 0 follow-up, making dinner reservations and then deciding to move to Bali the next morning. Sag is a walking contradiction. They'll pour their whole heart into your hands and then vanish when it gets too real. Not because they're heartless, but because vulnerability scares them more than skydiving ever could. They crave intimacy, but staying still long enough to build it, that's the part they're still learning. But the magic? Oh, the magic. When you find a Sagittarius who's done the work, and I mean the real work, inner work, shadow work, maybe even a therapist who doesn't flinch when they bring up commitment issues, it's like finding Wi-Fi in the woods. Rare, life-changing, and suddenly you never want to leave. Because that's when you stop getting someone who's just fun at parties and start getting a partner who lights a fire under your dreams. They'll hype you up, push you past your comfort zone, and remind you what it means to live fully. Not just love hard, but live wide open. No, Sag isn't your classic fairy tale, but honestly, their love story is the one people write songs about. It's not once upon a time. It's remember that one wild, beautiful, soul-shifting love? And when you're in it, it doesn't just change your relationship status. It reminds you who you actually are. So here's what I want you to remember. With Sagittarius, trust doesn't happen overnight. It grows through steady honesty, patience, and presence. They're not impressed by perfection. They're moved by truth. Sag wants to see the real you, not the polished version, not the version that pretends they don't care. Show up as you are, fully, loudly, unapologetically. And whatever you do, don't rush them. You got to let trust and intimacy build slow. Let them come to you, not because they're afraid, but because they want it to be real. And when a Sag feels safe and free, that's when they sign up for the long run. So bring your best self, bring your honest self, and never apologize for having your own life. Because if you can vibe with the Sag, hold your own peace, and still give them room to breathe, that's how you win. Whew, if you made it through all that, you're definitely either recovering from a Sagittarius, dating one, or plot twist, you are one. Just giggling in the background and saying, wow, that's crazy. For next week's poll, hit me on IG or drop it in the comments. Have you ever been ghosted by a Sag, or are you the Sag who dipped mid-dinner? I need these stories. For science, obviously. And don't forget, if this brand of chaos hit home, share the podcast. Tag a friend who's been personally victimized by a Sagittarius, and let's keep spinning that cosmic tea together. Now, coming up, I've got a track that's pure Sag energy. bold, dreamy, a little reckless, and impossible to forget. Stay wild, stay free, and keep loving like there's always somewhere new to land. Catch you next episode.
Under my moonlight, baby, moonlight. Dancing till dawn, feels so right, feels so right. Your love's the spark that drives the night, drives the night. Forever starts now, hold me tight, hold me tight, hold me tight. Your laugh like summer, your touch like fire. We ride this wave higher and higher, no ending in sight. Just you and me, swept in this rhythm, wild and free. We're alive, we're burning bright, stars falling for our light. Tonight's the time, no turning back. We shine together on this track. Under my moon.